Well, hello everybody. Welcome back for another episode of Almost Athletes. We're on episode 4. We titled it When Problems Occur, Expansion Solves. This week we're going to do what we typically do. We're going to do a rundown of everything. We're going to talk about the Utah Mammoths. We're going to talk about Derek Carr retiring, Draymond Green anger problems. We're going to go into the Lakers problems and my input. We're going to talk about the ChatGPT's Super Bowl picks, and we're going to talk about the lovely Aaron Rodgers, who's nowhere to be found anywhere. We're going to kick it off today like we typically do. We're going to talk about some sports, what's going on. We got some MLB games going on right now. Reds are beating the Guardians. The Nationals are in rain delay. The Pirates are in a rain delay. And that's all we have with the MLB besides the Cubs beating the White Sox. I'm pretty sure everybody knew the Cubs were going to beat the White Sox. Sorry, Chicago fans. I know that's a in-state rivalry, and this week we do have a lot of in-state rivalry games going on. Yankees play the Mets tonight, and since we're talking about New York sports, somebody said this week that New York is overrated. Their sports teams are overrated. Well, I'm going to tell you first and foremost, they are not. The Yankees are dominant, and the Mets are playing pretty good right now. We'll see what happens, though. Mets are typical. I can hear you, Chris. Stop banging on the damn thing.
Well, I can't hear anything anymore. It's so irritating.
And Ricardo, you want to jump on?
Sure. What's up, guys? Hello? Hold on a second.
You there, Ricardo? Can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
So Mets are big echo.
Can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
can. Can you hear me, Chris?
I can hear you. Yeah. Just can't hear myself
All right.
anymore, which is really annoying.
So let's
but
start
whatever.
Yeah. So let's talk about the first topic. Let's talk about the Utah Mammoths. All right. This is one of Chris's topics. He loves them. So why don't you take us into this a little bit?
Well, NFL's got a new expansion team called the Utah Mammoths. It's gonna be. I mean, it's just funny that they brought this out of the ice ages to be the mascot for our team. Just pretty funny.
Well, last year, weren't they the Utah Hockey Club?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what. I don't think they had a previous name, but I'm more interested in to find out because recently all the expansion teams have done really well. So like when the Golden Knights became an expansion team, they went to the finals and then won the Stanley Cup 2 years later, and then Florida is the expansion team. They won the Stanley Cup. Now they're doing well. I mean, it's just like it seems like the expansion teams are getting a lot of since players have to come from other teams. It's kind of lopsided. And like in the past, there are expansion teams that have never even sniffed the Stanley Cup from days. The teams that have been around for a long time, and you get these expansion teams are just showing up and just going straight into the playoffs and straight into a Stanley Cup competition. It's kind of entertaining. I think they need to fix the expansion team.
So let me ask you a question. So are you basically predicting that the Utah Mammoths are going to go to the championship? Is that what you're saying? Are you telling everybody to bet on them right away?
If they do the expansion teams the way they've been doing all the rest of them, they'll be in the Stanley Cup Finals in the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Now, what makes the teams perform so well? Is it just because of the excitement, money aspect?
Well, it's because all the other teams in the NHL are required to give up players, but they have to have a certain there's certain thresholds, and so they end up having to give like pretty decent players. So like that's how what was the goalie for the Vegas Golden Knights? He was a goalie for a long time, just retired. He's going to be clearly Hall of Fame. I can't think of his name right now, but he was one of the expansion had to go to a team. He was I think came from the Penguins, and he ended up I mean, he was like the best goalie in the league the first year the Golden Knights were in the league. So it's just like, it seems like there's a little advantage to the expansion teams.
Gotcha.
So
Well, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that the Utah Mammoths make the, championship. You heard it here first. Chris said bet on them
Yeah.
hardcore.
for sure, they'll make the
yeah.
playoffs for the first year for sure.
100%. Now let's get to the second topic today because this is a pressing topic in the news. Derek Carr retired. He was with the New Orleans Saints, and he retired after his 11th season. It's kind of a stunning, or a shocker around the league. Nobody anticipated it. Nobody thought he was going to be retiring. Supposedly, he retired over a shoulder injury. I did watch the game. I did see what happened, and quite frankly, it looked like it was a bad injury. But a lot of players come back from those injuries. Just in general, a lot of injuries. So I was a little bit shocked by this. What was your thoughts?
I think it's crazy. I mean, I didn't realize he's on the 40,000 passing yard club, which
Yeah.
I think there's 23 other quarterbacks. But if you look at that list, I looked at the list the other day. It's an elite list. Everybody's going to be in the Hall of Fame on that list, if they're not already. Several Super Bowl champions, several Super Bowl MVPs, and then he's the only one of the 23 that has never won a playoff game. He's 0-1 in the playoffs. And I was just like blown away. I mean, even Phillip Rivers, who is like I feel like Dan Marino is probably the best quarterback to not win a Super Bowl, but I think Phillip Rivers isn't far behind. And I did not realize that Derek Carr never won a playoff game. I was kind of blown away by that stat.
Well, look at the teams that Derek Carr played for, quite frankly, and that plays into it. Listen, so I was reading a report. So basically, he tried to go like the non-surgical route. He tried to do rehab. He tried to do injections, but they wanted to do surgery on him. They wanted to do a procedure, and I can understand that from somebody that needed surgery, that chose not to get surgery to continue their career. It's a different story, though. He was making like $30 million a year, bro. Like, he was making significant money. I don't care. Cut me up. Cut my right shoulder up. Make me be able to throw a football again for $30 million. Even if he wasn't eligible for the year, he picks it up on either his workers' comp or disability. So it's a little bit of a shocker. There he goes that I don't want to call him beautiful or ugly, but
you already have one
yeah.
crush. That's Aaron Judge. You can't have two crushes.
How dare you? Aaron Judge is lighting it up. No, but realistically, Derek Carr, like, there's also talk that he might potentially or try to use this as a way to go play for another team in some sort of facet. I don't know. Like, for me, yeah. See, for me, though, like, it doesn't make sense. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. Is he on the back tail of his career? I would probably say yeah. Like, he played for the Saints last year, didn't have the best of years before that with the Oakland Raiders. Okay at best. So would I take him over Jackson Dart? Nope. Would I take him over Russell Wilson? Nope. The key question is, would you take him over Aaron Rodgers?
Wait, for the Steelers?
Yeah.
No, probably not. I mean, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is being kind of a shit right now, so we'll see.
Yeah. I would probably sign him as a backup of offensive coordinator if I was the owner of the Giants, because last time I believe I saw a photo of his wife, she was smoking hot. So I just would want some eye candy at the games when I go. So, yeah. That's pretty much.
I mean, he'd be great if
like
you could have him on the team, on the roster. I mean, he's been around the league. He could mentor a young guy, and he's a competent passer. I mean, he'll win you some football games, but.
Yeah, but he thrives in systems where all they do is throw. He thrives in systems where basically the whole offense is a run and gun, not a run and gun, and just passing all day long.
Like West Coast offense.
Yeah, West Coast offense. Sorry, I couldn't fucking think of it for 2 seconds. But yeah, that's the style that he.
It's because you're a New Yorker. You're on the wrong coast.
Yeah, I know I am. But yeah, so more of the story is I feel bad for him that he got hurt because you don't wish that upon anybody.
No.
But the realistic situation is I don't feel bad for him because he's got a smoking wife, and I think he's made over like $250 million playing football. The problem is New Orleans, though. Who do you go with in the backups? Like, those backups that were not really supposed to play this year are now thrust into the light. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know, like, how it's going to work out, but New Orleans is going to have some serious issues there.
I mean, Joe Flacco, just grab Joe Flacco. I mean, the Browns
you
have
gotta
like
get him from
13.
the Browns.
The Browns have like 13 quarterbacks, so I mean,
Well,
they'll cut somebody.
you might, believe it or not, you might see New Orleans trying to get a quarterback with Aaron Rodgers. Rattler played last year for the Saints, so we'll see what happens with that. But since we're on the NFL topic, let's talk about the NFL schedule being released. Did you look at this at all?
Yeah, I looked at week 1, and I looked at my team schedule, obviously. So there's some good games. I mean, I'm interested to see. We're playing at Chicago. The Steelers are playing at Chicago. So I'm curious. The Steelers are playing at LA, which is always an interesting game. And then we finished the year. Buffalo, Baltimore, Miami, Detroit, Cleveland, Baltimore. That's the last. That's the last 6 games of the season.
Unbelievable.
That's gonna be grueling. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so a couple of things. So I saw the schedule. I did cause a lot of controversy on X by making a comment. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs are still going to be in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
A lot of people
Fucking Chiefs.
A lot of people weren't too happy about it, which I was cracking up because it was just a joke. Every Chief fan came out and had to make a comment. But going back to the schedule, so there's a couple of things that stood out to me.
The YouTube games.
Well,
Yeah,
the
they're
YouTube
definitely-
games are out of control.
Yeah.
But how about this? So there is, I believe, 7 regular season games played in 5 countries this year. So you have a
Oh, really?
game in Spain and Ireland for the first time. And then you obviously have, Britain and so forth. So they're expanding the reach and a new audience. I can't imagine being a player traveling that distance to play a game. It's out of control.
Yeah. The travel thing. I mean, we've traveled internationally, and that shit is fucking brutal, man. So I can only imagine having to travel internationally and then also like put your pads on and go fucking try to play a football game.
Well, yeah, but look at the teams that are traveling. You got Minnesota Vikings traveling twice. You have I don't know why the Browns are traveling. We know they're going to lose. The Jets, maybe. Jacksonville's played like shit. These aren't even exciting games to watch.
Well, Jacksonville has the contract, so they're basically in the international game every year, which is super fucking irritating. I thought Atlanta was the other team that was in the contract, but maybe I'm wrong. Who's the Chargers playing? Is that Tennessee? Can't really see it. It's blurred, but I'm pretty sure the Jaguars are one of the teams that always plays overseas. So
Yeah, but so the crazy thing about the schedule being released outside of the travel over the pond that they call it, the Cincinnati Bengals travel the least amount. They travel less than 10,000 miles with their schedule.
they don't do any West Coast games.
They travel 8,752 miles throughout the entire season. That is fucking insane. You know the advantage that the Cincinnati Bengals have because they're not traveling? Recovery time, preparation, all that. It's kind of insane to think about that. But the team that really got fucking screwed out of all the teams was the Chargers. Chargers travel throughout the season 37,000 miles. Do you know like the grueling nature that's going to hit the bodies of these
Spent a
football
lot of time in
players?
the airplane. Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Oh yeah, it's going to suck a lot. It's going to suck a fucking ton. And
We just lost you. I don't know. There we go. Yeah, but I mean, the time it takes to travel all that West Coast, East Coast stuff, spending nights in the wrong time zone, doing all that stuff. It's fucking grueling, man. It's exhausting. And then, trying to reset your sleep every other week, or I can only imagine there's going to be some people at the end of the season that are going to be ready to be done with football.
Oh yeah. Well, the other thing about it all, though, when it comes to the travel element of it, is even if you're a fan and you're like one of those diehard fans and you're like, all right, I want to go to these games, you're going to run up some serious money. It's not like these games are close. You're going to be traveling back and forth. So your fan base has to be a national fan base. Like, as a Giants fan, I don't ever think about, hey, you know what? The Giants are playing the 49ers. Let me get on a flight. Or Giants are playing this. Let me get on that flight.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I kind of feel like you want the advantage to go to the home team. I mean, isn't that the entire purpose? So I feel like in that capacity, there's going to be teams that, they're going to finally get home fans to like go to the game because the opportunity to go to other games is too grueling or too expensive, like you just said. So maybe there's going to be like a home field advantage this year for the first time in a while. I mean, the Steelers fans travel really well. Packers fans travel really well. I mean, I don't know. I guess Cowboys maybe, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're on the topic of schedules, and football, let's talk about the other thing. ChatGPT predicts the next 50 NFL Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, look at it again. I've seen a couple of them. This is the first one. The last one I saw, like the Steelers weren't even on the list for the next 50 years, and I was like, "Fuck you." But
so the one that I saw that I bring up, which was on I think it was on NBC. So if this is the correct image, it says the Aztecs, the Monarchs, the Defenders. It has teams that are not even in the NFL.
Yeah, they're just predicting expansion teams.
They're predicting expansion teams. So, but they did have the Steelers. They did have the Steelers on 2043 winning, and they had the Giants in 2048 winning. We couldn't win it before the fucking.
Well, now we know that's
a
lie. If the Giants are going to win, then we know that's ChatGPT's fucked up. But it's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a call with Sam Altman because I'm a little pissed off. But it's funny though because you take the data that's in the system and you create the Super Bowl champions. I find it hilarious. I actually enjoy the fact that these expansion teams don't even exist, and they basically
they
flew
just
them
made
in
it up.
there.
Yeah, I mean that works. I mean I'm good with that.
Oh yeah,
ChatGPT. I mean it's got more information than we do, so maybe they know something we don't. So.
Oh, definitely, they definitely do. The funny thing though is I don't understand if it's just bad management on behalf of the Giants that ChatGPT. I'm very critical of my Giants lately in the management, so I don't know if they hear what we're saying because clearly they don't respect the Giants.
Maybe it's because they didn't draft Shador.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's why ChatGPT is like, "Fuck you guys, you're out. You didn't draft Shador, so you guys aren't getting Super Bowl for 40 years."
I'm not even surprised. ChatGPT was.
Are the Browns on there? I don't have it up. Are the Browns on there?
I just took it down. Hold on. Let me see if the
because that's really because if the Browns are on there, then we know ChatGPT is full of shit.
I don't think they were. Actually. That's the funny thing about it. I don't think they were. Hold on. So they have next year San Francisco 49ers, the Bengals, the Buffalo, Detroit, Baltimore. They don't have the Browns on here, but you know who they do have on here? The Washington Commanders in 2069.
30 years after the new stadium? 39 years after the new stadium? They finally bring the Super Bowl to town?
Unfucking real. Remind me never to, how do I put it? Remind me never to follow ChatGPT ever again. I would never do it again based on these picks, but it's unique. Do you think people use this to actually make bets?
Oh, I guarantee you somebody's using ChatGPT to make bets. I mean, I don't know if it's specifically with the Super Bowl, but they've got to. I mean, it's just the amount of information that the ChatGPT can process that we can't. I mean,
dude,
why not?
If somebody's using ChatGPT to make bets, I want to see your win-loss receipts. I want to see if you're actually winning games and making money.
We could do that. We could do that and post it on here if you want. $5
Oh, that's a good segment.
We could start doing $5 bet bets on like I don't know, whatever, DraftKings, and just use ChatGPT and then keep track of the
pick
data.
bets. Keep it. Yep, that's a good idea. And coming soon, everybody, to Almost Athletes. ChatGPT betting live receipts.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, so more of the story though is tips for implementing ChatGPT. Oh my God, there are people that actually do this, and I'm gonna be one of them.
I feel like we're coming late to the scene, but yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, we're definitely coming late to the scene. So let's discuss the next topic. It is Draymond Green anger problems. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Draymond's been a polarizing figure in the NBA for a while, and I mean, it's his shtick, it's his niche, and I mean, I feel like the blueprint was, Rodman was like that, just a guy that, he knows how to get under people's skin, and sometimes do I think he takes it a little bit too far? Of course, but I feel like it's to me what it seems like it's personality that he just puts on this, thing, because he's a decent basketball player,
Yeah.
If he wasn't a decent basketball player, they would have gotten rid of him a long time ago. So.
Yeah, so the thing with Draymond Green, everybody, is he decided to say that the negative portrayal of the media makes him an angry black man, and there was a controversy. There's a controversy around this. So I wanted to address this as an angry white man. He's just playing basketball in a different era. He's playing 80s NBA in the 2020 NBA,
Yeah.
which means it's you can't touch a player, you can't be physical,
No hand
and his
checking,
style,
yeah.
his style of play would have fit in great in the 80s. And just to illustrate how bad the NBA is when it comes to physicality, is Draymond Green has 37 technical fouls in the postseason since 2012, 2013. So when you think about that, right, he gets technical fouls left and right. Does he help his own cause? No. He fights his own teammates. He throws haymakers at Jordan Poole in the practice. He's literally a constant problem, and he's outspoken. I can correlate with him because I'm a very outspoken person as well, but I'm not an asshole. The problem is he's oh, fuck you, Chris.
You set yourself up for that.
Yeah, I'm not an asshole, and what I mean by that is after a game, you don't go out to the media and start talking shit on your own teammates, start talking about other players. There's a common code in the NBA with certain things that you don't break. The other thing also I have to say is Draymond Green also has a massive problem when it comes to the connection with fans. He's been known as a dirty basketball player for a while now. There's been things that have, and this is the beauty of social media and some of these content creators where they create montages of the fucking things that he does, and he doesn't help himself. Do I think though, like him labeling himself that and the negative portrayal of the media is accurate? No, I think he brought it about himself, and I also think he's playing in the wrong time. If he scored more points, okay, and he wasn't as polarizing in certain things, I think he'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with it. I think he's just an angry basketball player that I feel like he does take a little too far in the throwing shade at your teammates behind in the media's. That's a little fucked up. But as far as his basketball play, I'm all for it. I mean, be aggressive, and you're trying to win championships. You're not trying to be there to watch other people win. So.
Dude, I agree with you. I just don't appreciate when he throws haymakers at teammates in practice. He's such a, the problem is he's actually I actually enjoy watching him because it's like passion, right? Like there's certain players that have so much passion where they're diving on the ground for balls, or they're going to make that hard foul, or they're going to do certain things like that rile up the team or help. Like one thing he's always done is he's protected Steph Curry in so many ways. And you kind of need a guy like that to protect your star players.
We talked about that last week with Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
about how we want to watch Jordan because he goes for it every time. He's always going to take a risk, and I think Draymond's the same way. We want to see him because he's going to take risks. He's going to play hard. So
Yeah, he's going to
fun
punch
to
somebody
watch.
in the head.
well, that
Or he's
also
going
too.
to
Yeah.
elbow or kick him
It's like
in the nuts.
you mix MMA and NBA together, right? I mean, why not? Let's get free.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
get free
we should
pay-per-view
create-
to MMA.
Yeah, we should get a new sport going.
It's
The
called
next-
NBA Jam. Remember back in the day?
NBA Jam. Oh, you're bringing up some great games. Next topic that we're going to stick in the NBA. I'm going to talk about the Lakers a little bit.
Oh my God! Fucking.
I watched a lot of basketball this year. And I've read a lot of articles about the Los Angeles Lakers and like the pushback. People, okay, you watch a game. Everybody talks about the offensive aspect of the game. Who scores? Okay, how many points certain players have. What the problem is the Lakers never had a problem scoring. The Lakers' problem is on the defensive side of the ball. I am still going to be very adamant, and I think it was probably the best trade or one of the best trades in a while. Luka Doncic is a phenomenal offensive player half of the time. Like, I think they made out because now they got the number 1 overall pick, and I think they actually have a better future. Luka's not the same player when he came into the league. First of all, he put on like 100 pounds. He went to in and out way too much.
He's a chunky white boy.
Yeah. So there's a fundamental problem with the Lakers. First, Luka plays no defense. If you ever watched any of the games, he misses his rotations. He's lazy. The second thing also is when he's on the offensive side of the ball, he complains. Him and LeBron James are the two biggest complainers when it comes to foul call, nothing happened, flopping. And sometimes it works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. And sometimes it doesn't work. And the problem is when they're doing, like I watch games and they're just sitting there arguing with the refs while the other team is taking the ball up the court. And it's just like, dude, get back in defense. Second, there's a couple other things I have to say. LeBron. I think LeBron is a phenomenal player. I've never agreed with certain things that he said. He is old. He's not the same player. He's not the same defensive player. And
He's never a defensive player, but yeah, okay.
Oh, no. Don't say he was never. In his earlier days, he was a good defensive player. His later years, he realized it was all about offense, and he's kind of changed his mold. They have had poor drafting. You can't pick a guy this year in your first round and then decide to fucking trade him only to get him back. LaFraud James. Only to get him back. You're also in LA. You have high expectations. But the team structure right now is not the same thing. They last won the championship in the COVID year, but that was a bullshit year. Like, even though it's a championship, you throw it away because they were playing in a bubble. There was no crowds. There was no home court advantage. It was a weird year. Last but not least, I like J.J. Redick. I was one of the most critical individuals when he got hired as a head coach, but I actually like him. I think he's a great coach. I like how in the playoffs, he called a timeout. He started yelling at his players. I think he's going to be a great coach, and I continue to think he is. He's an ex-basketball player. He knows the system. He knows how to work and set up things. He sees the game. He understands the game. You get a lot of like assistants that never played the game, so what ends up happening is there's a disconnect between understanding when you're in the game and playing and actually being in that moment than trying to orchestrate a plan. So the Lakers, I don't see having any upside over the next couple of years. I really don't. I think they have a lot more internal problems. And I also think what they need to do to get back on top is bring Bronny James up to the NBA. I think he is a star, not... Chris, what do you think? I went on a rant.
Well, I mean, I don't think Bronny is a star, but that's okay.
I didn't say that. I said not.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, he is not the future of the Lakers. He's a mediocre basketball player who has a dad who was a talented athlete that played basketball. LeBron, until he retires, Lakers are not going to be good. That's just,
Yeah.
he's got to go. He's old, and even when he was younger, I mean, he was relied heavily on just his natural ability, and now his natural ability is tapered off because he's 39, turns 40 this year, and he doesn't have it anymore, and he doesn't have the work ethic to be, a guy that plays into his 40s and still has success. I mean, you watch him play this year, he just gave up. Hardly ever played defense. I mean, even in the playoffs when they were, trying to win that game, he like fumbled it into out of bounds. Just like he's lost a step, and it's. I mean, I've never liked LeBron. I mean, I think he's a talented athlete for sure, and he's won some championships, cool. But the GOAT argument has never been for me. LeBron isn't even on the list.
He ain't a fucking GOAT.
He's not
he
even
ain't
on the top.
GOAT.
He's not at the top 10 for me.
No.
Talented athlete, 100% talented athlete. He's gifted, good for him, but never been a huge LeBron fan.
He lost the GOAT. He lost the GOAT argument for me when he decided to declare himself the best player ever in a post-game conference.
Yeah.
But let's go to our next topic because this hits you a little bit harder. Aaron Rodgers.
You want to stick with the NBA before we go to the football again?
All right, sure. Let's stick with the NBA.
Because
who are your top 5 NBA players?
Oh man, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I mean, for me, obviously Michael Jordan is number one. I think Kobe's got to be in the top 2 or 3. I mean, it's really hard when you start to get outside of that because I mean, I think Magic Johnson absolutely, and then you got to go with some of these older players. I mean, I think Kareem Olajuwon is one of the best centers of all time, and then like Wilt, probably Chamberlain up there. Mm-hmm. But then it's really tough, man, because like I think Stockton should be in the top 10.
Kevin Garnett, dude.
I like KG. I don't think KG's the top 5.
What about what's his name, the defensive player?
I mean, I think that I had to go with Jordan, Kobe. What was it? Olajuwon, Chamberlain, and Magic. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jalen Brunson. I'm going to go with Patrick Ewing. I'm going to go with Allen Houston. I'm going to go with Anthony Mason. I'm going to go with Bernard King. I'll probably throw in Latrell Sprewell. I'll throw in Josh Hart. I'll throw in
What fuck list are you on?
I'll throw in Carl Anthony
Is this
Towns.
the top 5 outside of the top 25?
I'll throw in Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, Clyde the Glide. Let's have him on there. I mean,
I'll throw in
Arvydas
Charlie Ward.
Sabonis, right?
I'll throw in Charlie Ward.
Yeah,
I'm
Meta
only
World
naming-
Peace. Meta World Peace.
He did
Yeah.
play for the Knicks. He did play with the Knicks. I named all Knicks players at some point. I would probably go. Still, number one for me is Michael Jordan, but I still think Kobe and Michael Jordan. I could waver 1 or 2. Like Kobe was on a whole nother level. I mean, him and Jordan, I think, are far ahead of a lot of other players in just attitude, accolades, everything. I would have to say, outside of Jordan and Kobe, I would have to say 3. Man, this is a tough list. Shaq, because it's just how dominant of a player he is. Then you got to go with Magic, players like that. You can't discount some of the old timers. Like you still got to think of Wilt Chamberlain,
Dr. J. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, Bob Cousy. But yeah. So I realistic. No, you can't throw him in the NBA. NBA, he wasn't that good. Larry Bird.
I know he's on the list.
Yeah, but if you're talking about like the top 5, I think for me, guaranteed spots are Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, and Kobe. I think after those 3, it's debatable with the next couple because all those next players were really good, It was just different time eras. It was different with kind of the pace of basketball, the play of basketball.
All right. So who's your starting five?
Latrell Sprewell, Jalen Brunson.
Shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
I would go with John Stockton. I would go with Jordan. It would be tough
So you would
because
take. So you take Stockton over Magic as a point guard.
yeah, because Magic, even though he was a point guard, he was like a point forward.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, John Stockton is a pure point guard. I would go with Jordan at 2, but then you could play with Jordan and Kobe at the 2-3,
Yeah.
and then I would go probably 5. Wilt, and believe it or not, one of the players I thought was phenomenal, and I'm probably missing other players, but one player that I thought was phenomenal was Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was a whole nother player, and then you also don't forget Oscar Robinson was great too. I would take in that list KD.
Offensive
I wouldn't
players
take-
right now.
I wouldn't take Moran. I wouldn't take Embiid. I wouldn't take Tatum. Harden, no. DeRozan, no. Kembo, Kembo. I maybe
Yeah, Giannis.
Luca, no way in hell. Yeah. Who would you be your starting 5?
On this list, or no? Oh yeah. So I go the same way. Michael Jordan. I think Magic. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some John Stockton. It's hard. But I just think Magic would be a better.
Yeah.
But Magic, Jordan, and Kobe are pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, Wilt for center, and then the power forward spot is where it gets risky. I mean, I almost would say Dirk. I mean, if I was going to go with the best power forward of all time. I mean,
I
think
forgot about Dirk.
I think I would put Dirk on that list
Yep.
if I had to go
All
with
right.
just 5 starting positions.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're going 5 best
Yeah.
5 players by position, different. If
Yeah,
you're
it's
going
totally
5
different.
overall, it's
Yeah.
totally different.
But yeah,
All right.
I mean, I would never put LeBron on a 5-man squad. I mean, never.
Hell
He wouldn't
no.
even be. He wouldn't even be in my top 10. I mean,
Yeah.
again, gifted athlete, but just, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I know this is eating at you, so I got to ask you. Aaron Rodgers.
Fucking Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God, this fucking
All right.
guy.
Give me your Steelers fan. Give me your insight on how you feel.
At this point, I don't want him to be on the team. At this point, like Cam Hayward months ago came out and was like, "Look, if you want to be a Steeler, then you're going to be a Steeler. But if you're not interested, then we don't want you." And that's how I feel. I feel the same way he does. Like this is not a organization that you like. Oh well, you tiptoe around a thing and like I'll do it if the price is right. No, you come to the Steelers because you want to be a Steeler. And if he's wishy-washy, then okay, I'd rather have Mason Rudolph, who's going to fucking pour his heart out and try to get us, I mean, he might not have the same skill set that Aaron Rodgers does, but I would not feel comfortable knowing that Aaron Rodgers is going to give me 100% if he was on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like see my problem with Aaron Rodgers is he's just this whole offseason, like these games that he's playing. Well, I don't know if I'm going here, if I'm going there. We don't even know what condition he's in. We don't even know. Like the last year he was not even anywhere close to his old self, and he had a ton of targets around him. So if I was the Steelers, I wouldn't even take this shit anymore. Quite frankly, I would look for my second option, try to find somebody else, trade for a backup. Did they draft anybody this year?
Well, I think we took somebody late. I'm trying to think of who it was. Oh, no, yeah, Howard. Will Howard. Picked up Hill Route.
Start him.
Yeah.
Start him. Give him a chance. Give him 1 year, okay? Give him an opportunity. Prepare for next year's draft. Prepare for next year's free agency. Go out, sign somebody. Vikings have 2 quarterbacks right now, okay? You might have an opportunity there. A couple other teams have a couple of backups. Trade for Jameson Winston if you need to out of New York. Trade for Russell Wilson. See if New York would never give it to Russell Wilson right now, but trade for Jameson Winston because you know what Winston, he's going to fucking throw for 8,000 yards and also throw 100 interceptions. That's just the way he is. or just get somebody. Stop playing this game. Stop letting Rodgers dictate the market. It's gotten out of fucking control. And this is coming from a guy that actually likes Aaron Rodgers. I'm just sick of all these offseason bullshit, games that he's playing. And it's getting fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I just don't feel like he's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, he's doing a lot of things that I think you should do. Right? He's trying to take care of himself. He's sort of kind of doing this hippie sort of vibe where he's trying to be more at peace and blah blah blah. But it doesn't feel like he's like 100% committed to the NFL. And like
No.
this isn't. I mean, NFL is not a sport that you can give 80% effort and like still carry the team, right? You could tell when he was playing on the Jets last year that there were some games where they were losing and like he basically gave up. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
could tell that he was just not committed. And I get it, it sucks, but I'm hoping he goes somewhere and I'm hoping it works out, but I hope it's not the Steelers. I would much rather take a Mason Rudolph who might be a little not quite as talented, but is going to give me 115%. And then Aaron Rodgers at whatever 80, 75,
Yeah,
whatever
well,
it is.
I'd rather have Mason Rudolph. I'll just put him on the bench when Myles Garrett is playing because he might get hit with a fucking helmet. But yeah, I'm just over Aaron Rodgers games, and if I was a Steelers fan, I'd be kind of pissed off too
I'm
because this shit is going on way too long. The leash they're giving him, it appears with how he approaches it is out of control. I would have ended it relatively soon. He's not the same player that he was 3 years ago. We all know that. If he wins the MVP this year by playing for the Steelers, I'll eat my own words.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay?
Okay, cool. I was
But-
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is, do you really want the drama that's going on right now? And if I was a Steeler, I'd say, fuck no, I'm moving on. But we don't, but they're still hanging around. So I'm just over
It
the
feels
shit.
Brett Favre-esque.
Yeah, it does.
Just jerking everybody around because he used to be great. It's like, cool, come on, man. Just fucking, either retire or fucking play, but pick one. Yeah.
Oh, breaking news. I didn't even see this. Earlier today, Brock Purdy signed a 5-year, $265 million deal to stay with the San Francisco 49ers.
I like Brock. I hope he does
I do
well.
too.
He struggled a little bit last year, but
Wasn't he the last pick in the draft?
yeah, he's a high pick. I don't remember if he was actually.
No,
the
he's
last,
not a
but-
high. No,
I mean,
don't
high
think he was.
like round 6 or 7 or whatever. Yeah,
Hold on, I gotta check this shit out real fast. Give me 1 second.
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
He was definitely like a 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere around draft picked, and
I was,
was just no low expectations, and then got
He was
thrown
the
into the mix. Yeah,
He was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the 2022 NFL
very,
draft.
very last. Yeah,
Dude, this
yeah,
guy
low
went from being
expectations, for sure.
he went from being the last pick to getting a $200+ million contract. That just goes to show it goes to show these athletes, if you get your opportunity, you got to perform. If you can perform,
gotta take it. Yeah.
yeah, like God Almighty, 265 for 5 years. It's an average of $45 million per year. This sounds a lot like the Giants contract with Daniel Jones. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I like Brock. I hope he does well. I mean, I feel like he, with McCaffrey and some of the weapons he had around him in the first couple of years, he did really well. But last year, they struggled. They really struggled, and it's
Caffrey
gonna
was
be,
hurt.
I think it's going to be tough for him as long as there's no running back. Because there's a reason why he was drafted last. He doesn't have the arm talent that some of the other guys do. He's not slow by any imagination, but he's not fast. So it seems to me like he's been in the system. He's figured out the system really well, but there's probably not a lot of depth to the game. He probably struggles a little bit when things get like 3rd, 4th reads type stuff. So, but we'll see.
I think he's done pretty well to earn a $265 million contract. I definitely think last year wasn't his best year. You're missing McCaffrey. Debo was hurt. You missed a couple other players. Your first-round draft pick got shot in a restaurant, if I remember correctly, or somebody tried to steal his watch. So he struggled a little bit only because of the fact that he was missing pieces. All right, let's end it up. Let's talk about some of the game scores right now.
What's up with the Rod Strickland thing? Why would that pop up?
I don't know, Rod Strickland. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah,
You gotta talk about Super Bowl GPT facts.
we already talked about it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Yeah, so we have-
Promote the show. Episode 32.
Promote the other show.
Almost Patriots.
Oh yeah, we got promote Almost Patriots.
I was gonna do that after I read the scores.
Oh, do the scores.
Yeah. All right. So right now the Mets and Yankees are playing. It's 0-0. You have the Nationals beating the Orioles right now, 1-0. The Tigers beating the Blue Jays. The Braves, which are 500 this year, they're beating the Red Sox, and the shitty team of the year, which is pretty bad. They haven't had a good year in a while. The Marlins are beating the Rays. Marlins are up 1-0.
I got two questions for you.
What?
Your boys tonight. What do you think?
Oh,
The game
well, I
starts
already-
in 14 minutes. So what do you
Oh,
think? Think they're gonna pull it off? Or they're gonna choke it up?
I think they'll pull it off tonight. I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. The Boston Celtics has a very complete team.
They do.
Tatum,
I mean, that's why they
Tatum,
won last year. Yeah.
Yeah, Tatum is just a cherry on top, and he's like the kind of the nucleus of the team. However, if you saw that last game, even when he wasn't there, Boston shot lights out. The role players played good. Derek White was fucking phenomenal. The thing that concerns me with the Knicks is sometimes they get lackadaisical. They get lazy. They have their, I think it's 6 or 7 players that play, or 6 players play 30-plus minutes a game or 40-plus minutes a game. Can't remember. Knicks, I am hoping they pull it out. I think they will tonight, but I will get nervous if they lose, because when you go back to Boston, even though they won those first 2 games, it's a lot harder winning Game 7 in the opposing
Away.
teams, arena. So we'll see. What do you think?
PGA. What do you think?
Max Homa's playing good. Bryson's still up there. I think Bryson probably make a late run tomorrow. I believe Max Homa was 3rd today. Last time I
He
checked,
finished tied 5th, so 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think whoever made the cut today, usually in golf after the second round, the person that's winning or leading the event usually doesn't win. There's 1 or 2 days where they have a slow day, and eventually, like, the other players catch up. It's a pretty close round. It's a pretty close leaderboard after this one. It's going to be interesting. Fitzpatrick's up there right now too. He's a sleeper, and you got Scotty's in
third. Yeah, 3 strokes back. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with PGA Championship, on tomorrow morning, the teams that go out early are going to have an advantage because the greens are a little softer in the morning. They'll start to dry out in the afternoon, and everything will start to get a little faster. So, like, I'm curious to see. I mean, like, I see Sam Burns and Xander Schauffele down here in the first, the +1. I think one of these guys, Harry English, Berger. I was surprised to see Luke Donald on this list, by the way. I haven't seen him in a while. Cameron Young. I mean, I think one of these guys down here in the first, the first wave of tee times is going to put up a low score. And then McIlroy's down there. McIlroy's down there at +1. One of those guys in the morning is going to shoot, 5 under.
But McIlroy hasn't.
Mix.
McIlroy's a hit or miss, even though he won the Masters. It's going to be interesting to see with him coming after a tournament win like that. Unless your name is like Bryson, who's been playing lights out lately, or a couple other players. I don't know. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna probably go top 5 in this. Fitzpatrick's gonna be up there. Scotty's gonna be up there. I think right now with how Homa's playing, he's gonna be up there. Bryson's gonna be up there, and I think with Vargas right now, or not Vargas, Vegas. I think the way he's playing, he shot a 64 today, which was a hell of a round.
Yesterday.
64 yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll probably be up there. So we'll
Max
see.
Homa shot a 64 today. Yeah.
We'll see. It's going to be tighter than a lot of people think. Some of those names are going to move up the board. But all right, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in to Almost Athletes. Tune in next Thursday for Almost Patriots. We have our next episode, 7
Look
p.m.
at my
Eastern.
face. Oh my god, that's so creepy.
Yeah.
Look at
I
how
know,
it
that's-
ends. Look at my face as it ends. The thing is, I was like, oh my god, murder some children or something.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and have a good one, all right?
Yeah, cheers all.
Let's go, Knicks.